So in my line of work, there's a lot of last minute deals and missing out on dinner and whatnot. But I think that the kids understand. What's the best part of getting stuck working with daddy? Ice cream! We didn't have to have dinner tonight, or we didn't get to have dinner tonight, but they got ice cream and I bought a motorcycle. It all works out. It all works out. Howdy folks, welcome back. Last night I found another disgustingly cheap Harley Davidson motorcycle. So of course, instead of eating dinner, the kids and I jumped in the truck, went for a ride, and we just had to scoop this thing up. It is a Sportster S, which is my favorite kind of Sportster because they have the good parts. Dual plug heads, adjustable suspension, all that. And this one has some other goodies. Thunder header, nice little fairing, but it is rough. So let's check it out and see what we bought. It was getting a little bit dark, so I couldn't see too close last night, but it was so cheap, I didn't care. I just had to get it in the truck. All right, boys and girls, here she is. Like I said, she's a little rough in certain spots, a little bit of surface rust here and there, and it has been sitting for almost 10 years. Yeah, since 2018, so it's been sitting handful of years, but it's got potential. Unfortunately, it has a ton of DMV fees. So this one, I think we're gonna part this one out. But first, let's see, one, how many miles are on it, so we'll hook a battery up to it. And two, I wanna see if this thing runs. Unfortunately, I don't have a key for it, but yeah, I wonder if this thing runs. But before I do any of that, we're giving this thing a bath. It is disgusting. It was kind of inside, it was under a carport, but for that many years, she's got the dust. She's not mint, but a heck of a lot better. And I think there's gonna be some good parts on this one. You know, it was sitting, so everything needs cleaned up. But aluminum wheels are just aluminum wheels. We can blast those things, powder coat them, all kinds of good stuff. Not too bad. Alrighty, now that this thing is all cleaned up, I pulled the tank bolts out of it and took off the fuel line, vacuum line. This will help us have a little bit better access to getting the ignition out so we can get to the wires in the back. And what I'm going to show you guys is not something that's like secret knowledge. You can Google how to do all this stuff. So before anybody in the comments is like, you're teaching people how to steal motorcycles. No, if somebody's a thief, they're going to be a thief, and they're probably not watching my YouTube channel. But this is all super common knowledge. Most Harleys have 3 wires for a key ignition. The newer ones have a fob and they work on, you know, magic. But the old stuff is actually really simple, and they sell aftermarket ones. Like for a shovel head, it's like 20 bucks for an aftermarket plug and play ignition. The Sportster ones, not that easy, but still not insanely complicated. And if you have a Sportster and you're like, wow, this looks a little different, this is the S model dual plug heads. So big time on the coils and wires. This one's got nice aftermarket wires though. Might have to borrow those for my bike. Well, that's enough. I just need to get this out. All right. Now we have plenty of room to access the wires here and figure out what is what. So now that we have plenty of space in here, there is a red with a black stripe and a solid red, and then a red with like a white. The red with the white, if I remember correctly, we don't even need to bother with. But the red with the black and the solid red, give ourselves plenty of room here in case we figure out a key for this, which I tried some of the keys that I have and nothing worked. But just in case, let's give ourselves some room. Let's cut these guys back like that, and then we'll strip them. We'll do a little zoom out. We'll hook the jumper pack up and touch those guys together and see. There we go. Let's just see if anything happens here. I'm not getting any lights, but this thing's blinking, so let's try boost. Nothing. Oh yeah, Daddy. See that? Now we're in biz. Alrighty. Well, now that we got some movement out of the engine, I did check and the oil was pretty low. So we're gonna feed a good old quart of Harley Davidson 2050 right on into her. The good stuff. And then, if I get a good enough connection, and we get enough spinny spins out of this thing, holy cow, it might run. Oh, come on, jump box. Come on, baby. Not horrible. Not horrible. It runs, and there's no gas tank hooked up, so it's just running on whatever's in the carb. Maybe we should put a fuel bottle to it and see what it does then. I am so excited. We got ourselves a little runner. Take 27. I got fuel to her now, so let's see what she actually will do. Couple squirts. Come on, girl. Oh, don't do it to me now. Give me the boost that I need. Alrighty guys, the dirt cheap Sportster S is a runner and I am super stoked on that. I wasn't sure what was going to happen with this bike. It was kind of a mystery barn find, been sitting for 7 years, whatever situation. And one of the things I always do with these type of bikes is, yes, I look at the registration. So the registration on this one, 2018 was the last year it was on the road. But another dead giveaway as far as like maybe they kept on riding it after registration was lapsed. I don't think so on this one because the tire date codes are 2015 and the tires still have a ton of tread. So I think that the guy was, you know, pretty honest about that this thing sat in the barn since 2018. And yeah, it's definitely, you know, a project situation. One of the reasons that I got this bike super cheap, and people outside of California always have a hard time understanding this, but in California, if you have a motorcycle or a car or whatever, and you're not driving it, but you don't tell the DMV, as in like you stop doing your renewals, and you don't tell them, like they have a form, it's called like a non-operation form. If you don't do that, you have to pay for every back year passed and fees, and it doesn't just stay with the owner of the vehicle. It actually stays with the vehicle. So this bike has over $800 in back fees on it. So if I wanted to register this thing, it would cost me that plus the regular cost of registering it. So we're talking $1,000. I don't really want to do that. So as far as what I'm going to do with it, I don't know yet. I think I'm going to keep it around. It is a great like parts thing because this bike has virtually the same engine, Sportster S engine. So if I did run into any trouble, I have a complete extra. But I don't know, it has a ton of good parts on it. The S's come with a fully adjustable front suspension, piggyback rear suspension. It's got a Thunder header. You know, the tins are still good. So there's a lot of good parts on this bike. One way or another, I'll figure out something good for it. But we had to save it out of the barn. And if you're wondering what I paid for it, I'm not going to tell you, but I will kind of let you figure it out. It cost more than $0.25 a cc and less than 50 cents. So that'll give you an idea, but it basically dirt cheap. I paid what I would pay for a set of wheels for the whole thing, but it was a barn situation, so it was also I showed up that day with the money. And a lot of people also don't realize there's a huge value to that as far as when somebody decides to finally let something like this go that's been sitting in their barn for 7 or 8 years, they decide and they want it out of there that day. So I talked to the guy in the morning, and I think he kind of wanted to shop around my bid, but he lived in the middle of nowhere, and it was just a, you know, typical mountain situation. So he called me back towards the end of the day and loaded up and headed over there. It was a good time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is like one of the things I really like doing. I love buying bikes like this that have sat for a long time and then just spending an afternoon tinkering with it and seeing if I can get it running. And this one was one of the ones that came back to life. So thanks for tuning in. If you happen to be new, please subscribe while you're here. And if you happen to be new, we're giving away this chopper when I'm done building it at some point. So stay tuned, subscribe, see you on the next one.